Welcome to this edition of Business Video Market Trends. I'm your host, Steve Vonderhaar. This time we're talking about how this week's G8 Summit in Italy really did no favors for the business webcasting market. Now, the leaders of the world's 8 leading economies gathered in Italy this week in part to discuss environmental issues, set some type of rules of the road in terms of how much and to what extent pollutions can be emitted by businesses in their day-to-day operations. Really no significant agreement coming out, just a very milquetoast type of long-term guidelines for limiting pollution activity by the year 2050, but no short-term goals were set during the meeting that would really impact decision-making process in terms of the short-term thinking of organizations and how they interact with the environment. This turns into bad news for makers of webcasting technology because in recent years we've seen some people begin to perceive webcasting at least as one of those tools that can be used to address the environmental issues. In short, you keep people off of airplanes, you keep them from traveling, you reduce their carbon footprint, and help an organization become more environmentally sensitive while maintaining significant, rich communications between far-flung executives. We can see in this first chart that overall 14% of the respondents to the IMS survey of 1,212 corporate executives saw environmental issues as playing a significant role in their web communications purchase decision. Another 30% saying it has a moderate impact. But what we see in the next slide is that actually the impact of environmental issues is more acute among the companies more likely to be subject to government regulations related to pollution. Companies with more than 500 employees demonstrating a much stronger affinity, as seen in this slide, for thinking about web communications as a solution or potential help in addressing environmental issues. Companies with fewer than 500 employees, we see a relative drop in terms of those perceiving either a significant or even a moderate impact on their web communications purchase decision resulting from the deployment of web communications capabilities. What this tells us, it doesn't tell us that executives at larger companies are more altruistic in terms of their concerns about the environment than are those at small companies. Rather, it says that executives at large companies are concerned about the business implications of coming or perceived coming government regulations or world regulations regarding the emission of polluting articles. So what we see here is that when the specter of pollution regulation is overhanging, that the issue of environmental impact does play a role in terms of the overall acceptance of a wide range of solutions, including webcasting. And so when we see the G8 basically eliminate the short-term concerns over business issues related to the environmental impact of day-to-day business activities, we're going to see over time, when we do this survey again and look at the environmental issues, chances are that the number and the extent of executives who are concerned about environmental issues, at least over the short term, is going to be reduced because the specter of regulation and pollution limits is going to be off the table, at least for the relatively near future. And as we go to the next slide, that's particularly bad news for the webcasting industry because among those organizations that use online multimedia frequently, there is a recognition, a linkage between the acknowledgement that online multimedia and web communications technologies can have a significant impact on an organization's environmental footprint. So, for example, organizations that deploy more than 100 online multimedia events per year, 26% saying that environmental issues can have a significant impact on the purchase decision, 29% saying a moderate impact on the purchase decision. Likewise, those organizations deploying between 50 and 99 online multimedia events per year, well, we also see a significant interest in environmental issues as relating to the purchase decision process, 16% saying it has a significant impact, and a whopping 55% saying a moderate impact on the purchase decision process. This is significantly more than we see among those organizations not using online multimedia at all. Among that group, only 7% saying that environmental issues play a significant role in the web communications purchase decision process. Another 10% saying a moderate impact. So what we have altogether is that those organizations who are aware of the power and capabilities of online multimedia are more likely to draw the conclusion and the correlation about the impact it can have on environmental issues related to an organization's day-to-day business activities. So with that said, we can still look at environmental issues as a key selling point for online multimedia, a side benefit that can be emphasized. But truly, after the results of this week's G8 meeting, its impact on the day-to-day purchase decision process is going to be nil at best. Thanks for joining us for this edition of Business Video Market Trends. Join us again next time for another review of Interactive Media Strategy survey data, providing insight on the development of the business video marketplace. I'm Steve Vonderhaar. Thanks for your time.